Now back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Rolling into our 16th year on the air. It's hard to believe. Greg Ratliff is back this week after laying off a week after, he works those 80-hour shifts at his other job, so it's good to have you back, Greg. And had a great show last week. Got a lot of comments from last week's show. Stuart Settles did a great job, and I did not call him Stuart Little, as I did twice during last week's show. It just comes to me, and I can't help it. I mean, it's Stuart Little and Stuart Settles, and they all come together. But this is one of my favorite shows of the year. This is right up there with our Bassmaster Classic show, which I will say, great comments from Edwin Evers last week. Thank you, Edwin Evers, for being on the show. I mean, I don't know how we were able to get him the week.
He's a pretty good fisherman.
He is a very good fisherman. 29 pounds on the last day. He made a lot of folks sad, but they but he smoked them. So it wasn't like they lost by 4 or 5 pounds.
Right.
So, but wonderful guy.
Mm-hmm.
And had him. And but this week is turkey time. You know, we're all cranked up. Mississippi has opened for their youth hunt going on now. And no, the regular season started last Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's right. That's
either
right.
that or about half of my friends on Facebook are poaching them.
Well, I've been on the White River. Just got back from the White River, and we'll talk about that later. But no, the Mississippi season had that 1 week for the youth, and then the regular season opened on Tuesday. And so I used to buy that 7-day license for Mississippi for that first week. And I got froze out or I got winded out. It was just a 7-day hump. Now, I never had any success. I never got weather like we've had this week.
Right.
This week has been unbelievable. I was on the White, early in the week on Monday, right after all those nice little storms rolled through here on Sunday night. I'm glad I wasn't here. My granddaughter called me at 10:30 and said, "Are y'all okay?" I said, "Well, we're up here in the White." "Well, I thought you was in Germantown," so it was bad. But talk turkey now. All right, let's see what we go. Let's start. Cooksey, you guys are going to have it. You're going to write something on it for the next issue.
Absolutely.
This will be the April issue.
April will have turkeys in it. I may even put some turkey in May. I just can't help it.
You can't help it.
I can't help it. I'm ready for the juvenile hunt in Tennessee, though.
Yeah. Well, is this the last year? Your son's?
This will be the last year for Bill, and
Bill the 12th will be his last hunt.
So far, knock on where's the wood? He's been perfect on juvenile hunts.
Yeah, I saw his picture in the magazine. Yeah. He has an inside, but that was a beautiful bird. Was that from?
He was on the cover too.
Yeah, no, and I saw that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was up in Perry County.
In Perry County, that's a good place, right, Turpin? Push that mic on. Let's talk to Steve Turpin here for a minute, because Steve. Tell our listeners out there a little bit about your family's connection and how you've been into this.
Well,
get that microphone right up there. Pull it over there for him.
We started with my great uncle was Tom Turpin. He started making calls around 1900.
1900.
So we've been doing it ever since.
That was before Petrey.
Just a hair.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because he's going to get to talk in a minute. But
and he made them with my grandfather.
Wow.
And then my dad, and then. Now me.
Now you have kept this thing going.
Tried to.
You tried to because you have another job and everything, but it's in your blood. And you guys are known. Even C.J. Davis, he mentioned the Yelper, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the Turpin Yelper is.
Yeah, that's what it's basically the same principle as a wing bone, but it's a wing bone of controlled dimensions.
Uh-huh.
And so that way if you cut it to specs, you get the sound you want. Where wing bones can be inconsistent.
And this, he's got one with him. Let's play some music. Get that microphone over there. I can do that with a straw. So no, I can't. I saw Harold Knight do it one day with a blade of Johnson grass, because that's where he got started on doing those things. But the Yelper itself, it takes some. You got to work with this. Now everybody says it's the hardest one to play.
It's easier than a diaphragm.
What do you say, Bill? You don't think it is? Okay.
I disagree.
Okay. All right. We'll ask you why in a minute, but let's see what you say about it.
Yeah, it's easier than a diaphragm.
Well, that's for sure.
And
well, that's right.
It's definitely a sound turkeys like.
Uh-huh.
So we kill a lot of turkeys with it, both spring and fall.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes, some people pick it up real easily. Some people struggle a little bit. It's just like you were in the Arkansas band. First time you ever picked up a trumpet.
You remember that? You remember that. That's good.
You couldn't play it.
No, I couldn't. No, when I put it down, I couldn't play it. That's.
But with practice, anybody can pick this up and learn it.
Actually, I can do it. Where I can't use a diaphragm, I choke. What do you call it? Choke? I can't use a diaphragm. Yeah, I do. I have the gagging reflex, so to speak, and I think I looked that up, and that's not in the dictionary for medical procedures to be done. But I can do, because I have one of these that Steve gave me several years ago that's cherished for me, and I will take it in the woods with me. And being a former trumpet player, as you said, learning to triple tongue and double tongue and things along that, and blowing in, and you itching that.
Well, I'm not going to say it's the easiest call to do a lot of different things on, but to make a basic yelp, honestly, a yelper's one of the easiest things I ever picked up.
That's why they call it a yelper.
Within a couple of minutes, I was making an acceptable yelp, and I don't know of another call I ever did that with.
Well, so we go from Steve over to Charles over there, who is Mr. Box Call. Because you tell our listeners a little bit, Charles, about how you got into this. I know he's a retired insurance executive agent, take your money, whatever it is, guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The problem you have using that straw is you've got it in a Frosty.
Well, that's true. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. But you got the box calls over there.
Yeah, I use a box call, and I use a mouth call, and the mouth call was easy for me to pick up.
Really?
I've got a trumpet call. I've had 3 or 4 of those things, and that's the hardest thing I've ever tried to use.
Okay.
A mouth call, a box call, a scratchy box, a slate. I don't have any problems with those. But I'm still working on one of those. But I take it to the woods because maybe it'll get used to going to the woods,
Oh, that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to make a pet out of it, huh?
Look good with it around my neck.
Yeah, it does look good, like all the bands and everything. But the box call, now Charles has made, I can't tell you how many he's made and given away from my wild game dinners. This man's got a great heart for teaching people. He always says come to him after they win. He'll give them some help on how to use it. But the Plain Jane box call, I've never really asked you, Plain Jane, how did you come up with a name for that? Is that maybe one of your ex-girlfriends? I don't think your wife knows that.
Yeah.
But
I started off just to make a plain box.
Okay.
No frills on it.
Uh-huh.
But then I got to where I like to dress them up. So I guess I'm going to have to rename it And the Pretty Lady.
Yeah, you're going to have to, because there's nothing plain about your box calls, Charles. These are time and effort you put into these things, and he always puts on the box what they're made out of, where he got them, and those things. Golly, look over there. Turpin's got a box call. All right, okay, all right. But the box call itself, play a little bit there and tell me how to work it.
You just keep it on the wood. It's just a basic 1, 2, 3.
Keeping on the wood is the main thing.
Yeah, don't lift it up. Just slide it on the wood with just very little. If you want to yelp, you press down.
Yeah.
It's real simple to play. Most of the kids, you can teach them how to play it because they'll listen to you.
And a woman, they'll listen to, but men won't.
No, I don't have much trouble with them.
No, that's right. Yeah. What are you looking over at? You going to say something?
I was going to say it depends on the woman or your relationship with her.
That's for sure. Yeah. If she's heard enough of that going around. But so the calls that you make in the box calls are made out of what particular wood primarily?
Well, the easiest one to make one out of would be butternut or Honduras mahogany.
Honduras mahogany.
Yeah, Lynch solved that a long time ago. All of theirs are Honduras mahogany. The lids are Honduras mahogany. You can about take it out of the router.
Lynch foolproof box calls. They're
all of theirs are made out of Honduras mahogany,
and a lot of them are worth a lot of money. if you've got some old ones or things along that. Most people don't get rid of those, and Charles makes these things. Of course, he's moved and he's got his shop, his new shop, and he's trying to get everything organized. So he's brought along his protege over there in Russell Ginn. And I know, Russell, tell me a little bit about Charles Petrey and how much you've learned from him.
I've learned a great deal amount. It's kind of one of those things that you kind of walk in and just astonished on how much there actually goes into building a perfect box call. Yeah,
I know my good friend Charlie Covington, who went to the White River with his wife went with my wife to the White River, and he talked about going and spending a couple of hours with Charles. Because Charlie he builds his box calls, but Charles spends so much time. And Russell, what are you going to say, Charles?
Well, I've got to give Mr. Robert Cliff credit because everything I know about a box call, he taught me. He'll share with you anything that you want to know.
Well, Charles, yes, we know about Mr. Cliff in the last call that he has. But Russell is relatively new. You've been doing this for what?
Probably 9 years.
About 9 years now, and he's branched out, and he brought me a slate call. Now, slate calls is that more that you do is slate calls?
I do a lot of the friction calls, diaphragm calls, just about any other call. I don't do boxes quite yet until I get released from Mr. Petrey.
Yeah, box calls 101.
Exactly.
You know, when you do that, but he makes a beautiful call. This got my name on it, right? Golly, you know, so. What is this made out of? What is it? What have I got here?
That is some walnut.
Walnut. All right, this is walnut, and you got the slate in there.
That's slate. That's glass over slate. There.
Glass over slate, and he's doing a lot of glass work now, where you're engraving on.
Do just about everything now in-house.
In-house. Mm-hmm. It's just amazing, and that's Ginn, Russell Ginn's Custom Calls. It's just amazing to have these guys in the studio this morning, on this Saturday morning, as we get ready for Tennessee's opening day on April the 2nd. You know, I'm fired up. It's for an old man.
On.
Huh?
It's on.
It's on. It's on. It's on for me. You know, I'm trying to. If I go down to Thorson's warehouse in South Haven, I would come out more looking like a panhandler. I mean, is there?
Oh, we've got the stuff. We've got the Montana decoys and full line of calls and
lots of shotguns too, don't you?
Oh, absolutely.
Got plenty of ammunition. Not that.
Yeah, we're loaded.
Oh, you're loaded. That's all right. You don't really need to carry a whole lot of ammunition in there to kill a turkey. Uh-oh, here he comes. He's coming back before we close out.
I've seen you shoot at turkeys, Larry.
Yes, you have seen me shoot at turkeys. Did you notice what he said? He's seen me shoot at turkeys, okay? I'm glad Ty Inmon's not here today because we could really go into a story on that. All right, let's take a break, come back, and we're going to try to hook up with a couple of guys out of Meridian, Mississippi who know a thing or two about turkey hunting on Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Get ready, guys. Every time we close out, you got to make some noise here. Come on. There you go. Keep going. All right, we'll be right back.
You can find